if there, at this time, I really think there are some scouts out there that have some words to say. You want to say some thanks, tell some stories?
No, you can stay seated.
I'm sure. So if anybody else wants to come up and say a few words, we'd like you to do that now.
I'd like to say a few words about Steve. One thing I think about Steve, and actually I got the news over Facebook when you announced that you were going to retire from being Scoutmaster, and I just, I sat at the computer and I thought, wow, I just had to sit with that for a while. And the reason I think is because, as it's been mentioned already by a lot of people, is that Steve put his complete life into it. He had a tremendous passion that you don't see repeated in a lot of people. And I don't know how many times that, and I think the thing that really, about Steve that I think touched most guys about most, is that Steve wasn't there just, to help us grow in scouting and so forth, but he really spent time with us because he cared for us. And he believed in us. He believed that, that we can grow in certain ways of habits and even anything from learning how to cook to running a meeting to various things. And he had a tremendous amount of patience as we stumbled through those things as young men. And I just wanted to thank you, Steve, for the amount of patience and for believing in us and spending that amount of time with us as we went through the years.
Hello, my name is David Hasbrook. I was with Troop 68 from 1985 to 1991. Things I remember about Steve at camping was always a blast, but one of the things our troop was always good for was our campfire programs. Every time we went to Mini Point, we were always asked to go out there to do some programs. I think I saw Tony back there somewhere. I think we can get another skit going of Mary the Princess. That was always a big one we've always had to do. But I just want to thank you, Steve. I challenged you from time to time, but you always stuck with me through my teen years. And that's what made me what I am today. As you can see, I'm still involved with scouting after all these years. I'm the Cub Master for PAC 619 in Shock Creek, Minnesota. Tonight I have the honor of sending my son through Arrow Light Ceremony. He's crossing over to Boy Scouts. So he was a super Weevil. He did accomplish that piece. So I just want to thank you for all what you've done for all the boys, and especially for me. It's made me who I am today. So thank you for that.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, I was not a Boy Scout in this troop. But I remember, was it 1980 or 81? 83 I became Scoutmaster?
September of 81.
Sure. And the adults that were searching for someone to help out with the Scouts were sincere. The troop was trying to get restarted. And I was one of the adults who maybe helped out, went on camp out every now and then. But those were the days when they met upstairs above the old Al's Red Oak. And as a parent, sometimes we discount the energy or the influence another adult has on our kids. Or we might have complained, boy, they're spending 3, 4, 5 hours over at Steve's house playing net games or something like that. Or the day after a camp out, one of your sons says, damn it, that's Steve, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then 2 days later, well, maybe he had a point about that, And so to see your kids develop with other kids, but also have relationships and learn and get advice from adults, whether it's a Scoutmaster or someone else, is pretty important, and you appreciate that, and I'd encourage other adults and other kids as they grow to keep doing that. Probably some times when I got to see more of the challenges as what a Scoutmaster entails is when, as a parent, we'd volunteer to go along on the camp out. And then you'd see the interaction of how the skills the Scoutmaster or adult has to use to try to keep the kids motivated, keep them going. You see some of the wear and tear on the person, and you appreciate that. I remember some memories, actually, one was with Amart. Think about this. How many boys from the Melrose area, the only adult they'll ever meet with a person with the name of Amart is the Amart Orton. And a lot of respect for him. I remember going up and helping with one of the few summer camps I helped out with. I was there for 3 days because Steve couldn't make it that year. And we're doing one of the community projects. It was to put in new supports and benches where they had the seating area to prevent erosion there. And this is, I don't know how many years ago, but did you ever know that if you put a chainsaw in Amart's hand, he's a happy camper? He's sawing away at that, and I remember asking him, how old are you, Amart? I think you were 74 years old at the time, and so we'll see if we can have a chainsaw in our hand when we're 74 years old. But it was good to see the teamwork there, because even though Steve couldn't make it up there were parents willing to help out, and I think part of why they were willing to help out was because they saw the energy and passion that he would have and trying to provide that with them. So I think as a parent, I think a lot of parents appreciate that, Steve, and you know, they're happy to see that for the most part the kids, you know, came through with some positive experiences with the troop, and it's nice to see some of them carry forward to other events. So as a parent, I think we all want to say thank you also.
Paul Clunky, like Jim, you get to a certain age and you start to recognize and appreciate those that have had a positive effect on your life or the lives of people around you and your community. I'm part of the first troop. In fact, I'm sure I'm the oldest former scout here, because I knew Steve before he was even Scoutmaster. He was assistant Scoutmaster. So to see the growth within the scouting community within Melrose, and to see how the changes, you know, I remember when we first got uniforms, and now you see people with uniforms with lots of patches and merit badges, and you know, Jeff's here, see what he achieved in the scouting program, all because of the dedication of Steve. You know, my company calls it the power of we, that cooperation, that collaboration. But within that community, it takes a leader, somebody to drive that, to provide the structure, and that's what Steve provided for scouting. Very appreciative of your efforts through the years, and sorry I had to come up so you can see my gray hair, remind you how old you really are. He did also teach me what skite hunting is. I did learn last year to learn that.
I just have a little story about you know, Steve and learning the art of how to control, you know, a bunch of young men. We were taking a trip out to Philmont and driving in a 12-passenger van, and I think it was Jay Hinnenkamp or Brad Hunt were doing something out the back of the window. So Steve knows how to get people under control. And we're driving through Denver, and it's 107 degrees outside. And all of a sudden, the temperature in the van starts creeping up and up and up. And Steve wants to know what's in back, but he doesn't tell us. Pretty soon, we figure out, oh, Steve turned the air conditioner off. It's 107 degrees outside. He knows how to get some answers. But I just want to say on behalf of, you know, our family, Steve's definitely had a big impact, you know, in our development and us being raised, and we really appreciate it. So thanks, Steve.
Nate Lummel. Wanted to first tell Steve I apologize to Ross for throwing that rock at Philmont in the latrine. Wasn't a really good idea to do that. I was pretty nervous. Ross was a big guy and I was a little smaller. But Steve's support with scouting has been awesome. I go back and I think about all the hours, and I know this isn't about, well, it's about community and helping out. Everything he's done with Mel TV3, helping out with filming community events, those types of things. That was a lot of fun doing that. Just growing up, being mayor, playing racquetball, tennis, all the fun scouting activities that we did. It was just a really fun time, so thank you for all your work.